have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world when you hit that play button. So glad you did. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina coming at you with another episode of the Genesis Frequency. Today, inviting you to wake up. Wake up. We woke up today. When I'm recording this, it's November 1st, 2022. Oh my goodness. It was just the beginning of October, and I was talking about the new quarter beginning. All right. So now we're a third of the way through the final quarter of this year. And it doesn't matter when you're listening to this, this can be anytime, anywhere, any year. Wake up. What are you doing? We get so busy with life and living. And if we would look back, we would identify probably a whole bunch of things that we got busy with that we didn't need to involve our energy with. And everybody, almost everybody I know does this. We get so wrapped up in boom, another year is gone. Boom, another month is gone. Boom, another day is gone, another week is gone, another year is gone, another decade is gone. Where are you and what do you want? I want to be real clear today, and I want to really inspire you and motivate you to do something. To do something, to reach out. Remember, this show is about personal and professional development, radical personal and professional transformation, making quantum leaps in your personal and professional life when it comes to goal achievement, when it comes to what you want for you, when it comes to what you want to create in your life, what you want to create in your experience, whatever those dreams may be. What is it? And I'm inviting you to not let another year go by, to slip by with nothing happening, with no movement. And it will. It will. We say it all the time. Yeah, I was just so busy. What were you busy with? Well, I was busy with work. I was busy with the chores. I was busy with this. I was busy doing other things. Doing other things. Everything but that which supports the life you would love to live. But we don't even get to that point. Most people that I talk to, when they, and I love speaking with people from all over the world, but most people when I talk to, if they got to the point where they finally made a call, that's a big step. You know, if they booked a call with me, said, hey, I want to talk about this, you're right, you're spot on. Every year I get to the end of the year, and it's like what? It's just like I lived the year before all over again. You know, it's like that movie Groundhog Day. It just, here's another year. It's gone by, but I'm still in the same place. And that's what we do. I've talked to people that have told me the same story, going back exactly the same story. And the time I talked to them last was 10 years ago. It's the same story. Now, listen, I want to be really clear right in the beginning here that this episode today is for individuals, it's for small business owners, and it's for you on the corporate team. And I don't care if you're in the boardroom, I don't care if you're chairman of the board, you have a seat on the board, if you're a frontline worker, if you're a consumer facing person, if you're anywhere on the corporate team, this is for you. And it's time to wake up. It's time to listen up. It's time to go back to the beginning and identify. And this is assuming you haven't already, because I find most people haven't. They get wrapped up in the busyness. You have to identify what it is you want to experience in your life, personally and professionally. What is the big dream goal? What is the objective? What is the purpose, mission, and vision for the company, for the corporation, for the small business, for your life? What is it that has been tapping at the door of your consciousness, tapping at the door of your heart? Tapping. What is that longing and discontent that has been tapping? That has been saying, you're so wrapped up in the busyness of life and living, you're not paying any attention to me. And I want to come out, and this is what I really want you to experience in your life. What is that? And I've repeated this many, many, many times, but I'm so passionate about it, and I need to get this out there so I get through to more people, because it is my mission and my purpose to help as many people as I can on this planet to live their greatest lives, to live their dreams. But most people just, they're content, they're comfortable. Remember the quote I used by T. Harv Eker? I don't know, it was the last episode or the episode before that. I got it up on my wall. It says, comfort kills. If your goal in life is to be comfortable, I guarantee you two things. First, you will never be rich. Second, you will never be happy. Happiness doesn't come from living a lukewarm life, always wondering what could have been. Happiness comes as a result of being in our natural state of growth and living up to our fullest potential. Just look at that last line. Happiness comes as a result of being in our natural state of growth and living up to our fullest potential. Are you doing that? Or are you just satisfied? Are you somebody that just is throwing their hands up and say, hey, listen, I hear what you're saying, man. I hear it, but I'm just happy to get through the day without any scrapes and cuts and bruises, no runs, no drips, no errors, just to get through the day. To what? What's the end game? I know long ago for me it was it was the weekend. As a weekend warrior, work my butt off during the week, head north and in Michigan, and party all weekend, and it was just not getting it. I was looking for my happiness and my content from something outside of myself. But we're all different. What is it? What is it? See, most people don't do this work. And, I can fill up my calendar, but I want to fill it up more. I want to talk to more people because I was in that place where I made a lot of inefficient choices. And year after year after year, this would happen. Year after year. I'd get to the end of the year, and where am I? Well, probably less money in the bank, probably worse off when it comes to health and physical fitness, and, just going nowhere. I lived another year. Thank God for that. I made it through another year despite all my inefficient choices, but I wasn't living the life I wanted to live. And I had to have a tremendous paradigm shift in my life in order to do that about face and march into the life I wanted to live in all areas of my life. So I'm inviting you to do that. What is it? See, the biggest problem I find when I talk to individuals or I do a keynote talk or a featured presentation talk, whether it's for a company or we're just talking to individuals or small groups, it's most people have not engaged their imagination. They have put that imagination up on the shelf. And some of us have put that imagination up on the shelf back when we were little kids. We were great. We had a great imagination. And an imagination is a spiritual tool. It's a mental faculty. It's like a superpower we have. That's where the genesis of creation takes place, in our imagination. Everything was created twice. Everything you see was created twice. First in someone's imagination, then in the visible world of form. More about that later. But take that imagination down off the shelf. What is it? What is it that you would love to experience in your life? And I invite you to look at, of course, your finances. Time and money freedom is a big one for a lot of people. What is it you would like to experience with health and physical fitness? What about relationships? Maybe you're not in one and you would like to have that significant other, or maybe you'd like to improve the relationships that you have had that perhaps have gone sour, or establish some new, loving, lasting friendships in your life. What is it you want to leave behind? What's the legacy? What is it that you want for you? Just maybe you've always put yourself in the back seat and there's something you really, really want for you. Maybe it's that trip around the world, or maybe it's a 6 month cruise or a 12-month cruise, or maybe it's living on one of those super condo, you know, ships that they have now that just travels around wherever the sunshine is. Whatever it is you want, I invite you to start playing with that and designing it using the power of your imagination. What I always do when I work with people and go through people, I tell people, hey, just sit down and give yourself the freedom. Just do some breath work and come into the present moment and just let go of everything else for a few minutes and just start writing everything you would love to have in your life. What would you love to experience in all these different areas that I started you on right here in the show? What is it you would like to experience? And start making that list. Give yourself that permission to dream again. Take the imagination off the shelf. You can be and do and have anything in your imagination, but guess what? When you create it in your imagination, if you can hold it in your imagination and see it and visualize it in your imagination, you can hold it in your hand. You can make that visible in this world of form. You can move it from the non-visible to the visible. And that's the work that I do. But I invite you to reach out, because it doesn't cost anything to talk to me. Let's have a conversation about this no matter where you are, in your company or in your personal life, wherever you are. Stop with the excuses. I'm just too busy. Too busy for what? To waste another year? To let another year and year after year go by? And maybe you're like most people I talk to, you're working on someone else's dream. What the heck? I'm really think about that. I'm so busy. I'm really busy. What are you doing? What are you busy doing? Oh, I got to get up, get the family going. I got to go to work. I got to go to work every single day. Well, all right. What do you do when you go to work? Well, you're working on someone else's dream, and it takes a little, all kinds of people to make the world go around. I get it, and maybe you have a fulfilling job that you just absolutely love, and there's nothing wrong with that. But even within that, I find that people, even if they have that career or vocation satisfaction, there's still other things that are tapping at the door. That longing and discontent. I always wish I would have done this. And you know what? You can. I want you to consider, when you're making that list of everything you would like to experience in your life. I mean everything. And I'm not talking just a bucket list here. I'm talking about the life you would love to live. And just start listing everything. Right now as I speak, the here in the United States anyway, there's a national lottery called, I think it's called the Big Game or the Powerball or something like that. Yeah, Powerball. And it's up to like $1.2 billion, the jackpot. So if you were standing in line to buy one of those tickets and fantasizing what you would do if you had that winning ticket and received that windfall, well, that's what I want you to think about. I want you to go there and make a list. And the key is not so much the money. The key is to Think from that place of expansiveness, if you will. Think not outside the box. Think like there is no box. Think from the infinite. Because it's all possible for you. If you can build it and design it using the power of your imagination, and you've paid attention to what is tapping at the door of your consciousness as longing and discontent, if you can create it there, and I've said this the last couple of shows too, I believe, you couldn't even have the desire. You couldn't even have the desire if it wasn't possible for you to achieve that and move that into the physical world of form. But people get stuck and they get lost and they throw up their hands and they start living their lives at a very young age. Most, not everybody, but at a very young age, living life from the outside in rather than from the inside out. Well, what does that mean? What happens when we do that? When we live from the outside in, we're listening and being conditioned by and being programmed by the outside world that says, well, you can't. You're not smart enough. You don't have enough money. You're not pretty enough. You're not thin enough. You're too heavy. You're too this. You're too that. You're not this. You're not that. You're not who? You? No way. You can't. Get in line, become the piece of the puzzle you are, and just, do what society tells you to do. Become this robot, this mechanical living creature that just runs through the paces, becomes this steel ball in a pinball machine, just bouncing after life events, and your life becomes a series of reactions. It's time to wake up. It's time to realize, yes, I can be, do, and have it all. I can be, do, and have whatever it is I want to experience in my life. I remember years ago when Bob Proctor was alive, and I had a conversation with him. We were talking for quite some time. And, he just came out and asked me these questions. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because he taught me how I could do that, how I could be, do, and have my biggest dreams and experience that both personally and professionally. One of the questions he asked me, and I'll ask that you right now, is what's the most money you've ever made in a year? And he asked me that. And I gave him my answer, and I don't think he didn't care how much I made, but he just wanted to see where I was in consciousness, I think. But he asked me, well, what's the most money I ever made in a year? And I answered him. I was honest with him. And he said, well, why don't you do that on a monthly basis? So I'm asking you that. And I don't care what that amount is. I don't care if it's $20,000 a year, maybe you're working part-time, or $10,000 a year, or $100,000 a year, $250,000, a million two a year, whatever. Why aren't you doing that on a monthly basis? I mean, it's possible there's people that don't have the knowledge, the smarts, the wisdom gained through life that you do that are doing that. See, the point is to get yourself thinking like there is no box, okay, and ask yourself questions. You're right. Why am I not doing that? And that's the lesson in that question. The amount has nothing to do with it. It's to get you to realize that there is so much more, and that most likely, if you're like 99.9% of the people out there, you're just settling. You're settling for living life from the outside in. You've gotten comfortable. And as I shared in that quote from T. Harv Eker, comfort kills. There's a quote by Napoleon Hill, too, that I have up on my wall that says, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty. So where are you? I mean, this is a wake-up call. It is, it was for me years ago, but it is for a lot of people. And still, they won't take action. Are you going to be that? Are you going to take action? Are you going to reach out? hey, it's super easy to have a conversation with me, just talk about some of these things. You know, when I talk to people, here, I don't want you to be afraid. When I talk to people, I ask people, hey, what's your dream? And most people say, I don't know. So I ask some questions to help you get there. And if you're still stuck, I send you some stuff so you can answer the questions for yourself, not for me. It doesn't matter to me what your big dream is, but you should have one, right? Because you don't want to go to your grave with that longing and discontent locked inside of you, never living up to your potential. So I get on calls with people and I help identify what it is you really want. And then I ask the question, like Bob asked me, hey, why don't you have that yet in your life? What is it that's keeping you stuck? Because chances are I know exactly what's keeping you stuck. And I can help you identify that. And until you understand how we're wired, how you're programmed, what is keeping you stuck, and identify what that is, and learn how you can change that, remove that obstacle, and install some new habits, you're going to stay in the same place year after year after year. Yes, you can get that kick in the pants from going to some seminar, some program, or maybe you can hire some coach that may or may not know what they're doing. You know, and maybe you'll have some little incremental growth, but you will always slip back down to where you were because that's governed by just a couple things. And that's what I talk about when we get together on a phone call. Then I usually set people out with a plan. Hey, how do you move from where you are and make a quantum leap and get at least, one of these big dream goals under your belt, one personal, one professional, and go to work on that. So I really am inviting you to wake up. Quit with the excuses. I'm too busy. I don't care if another year. Really, if I hear that one, I don't care another year went by. I'm just too busy to, I'm too busy to work on me. I'm too busy to go after dreams. Yeah, right. Yeah, in this world, yeah, it's just you got to just keep up with inflation. You got to do the, and I can help you with that. Reach out and let's talk. I don't care if it's for your company. I don't care if you're a Fortune 50 company. I don't care if you own a small hardware store. Or I don't care if you're a stay at home mother or father that works in the household. I can help you. And we can go in whatever the dream is. Hey, you want to move into your own business? I have a vehicle for that. You want whatever your dream is, we can get you there. I can help you. I can take you by the hand and move you to the end of the rainbow, to where your pot of gold is, however you define that, however you define riches for yourself. I can take you by the hand and lead you there. But it starts with you waking up and taking action and saying, enough is enough is enough. You're right. Another year is almost gone. What am I going to create in the last couple of months I have here and in the year ahead? I want to identify it. I want to hit the ground running. And I want to make the next year the year that I see all my dreams come true. Or at least know how to do that and know how to step into them and know how to make those quantum leaps. So reach out to me. We're out of time for today. Successappointment.com. All one word gets you on my calendar. It'll open up in your time zone. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes together. It's up to you. And we'll talk about what you want. Do you want to move into business? Do you want to live the relationships or have the relationships you want to have? Do you want to change your physical appearance and health and all that comes to that? Maybe you've struggled with that all your life. Maybe it is something to do with time and money freedom. It doesn't matter. Book an appointment, successappointment.com. You can go to thegenesisfrequency.com. That's the website for the show, or successocean.com. If you're really interested about stepping into the wonderful world about becoming an entrepreneur, you can go to successocean.biz, fill out a form there, and we'll talk specifically about getting you set up as an entrepreneur. So many different ways to go, but it starts with having a conversation, a simple conversation with me. So let's do that. successappointment.com. You can also reach out to Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com. Hey, that's going to do it. That's all the time we got for today. I appreciate you being here and listening in. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm passionate about this. I'm not going to apologize. I almost said I'm sorry. But you know what? I know if I could do it from where I was to where I am now, that I can help you do it as well. So let's talk. Let's have a conversation. And let's make the end of this year and moving into next the best days that you have ever had. Make this the time that you wake up. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina, and you've been listening to the Genesis